Southern Pacific Train MJLBP-11 had derailed at Cajon Pass in San Bernardino, California. The cause of this was a runaway train with SP-7551 on point, and a repeat in history has happened. Alright, to have a better understanding, let's talk about the train itself first that had derailed. So, the train that derailed was Union Pacific Train OUTS-1-25. This is a bulk train from Utah Mine to Long Beach, California. This train, however, had no hazardous materials and was only hauling iron ore. There were 154 loaded iron ore cars. This came out to about 21,522 tons, and there were 5 locomotives on point of this train. There were 2 engines up front, 1 mid-train DPU, and 2 end-train DPUs. The train derailment had occurred at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time Zone on the UP Sima subdivision. This train, as it was a runaway, was going at about 118 miles per hour. This was the last recorded speed, and this speed was recorded 12 miles away from the derailment site. But the bad news is, it gets worse from here, because on the rest of those 12 miles, the track is at a downhill slope. And by the time the train got to the derailment site, the train was doing over 150 miles per hour. Here are some of the photos that I have found right here. Now, as you can see from this photo, it does look like the train had caught on fire. But as I had mentioned earlier, this train was hauling absolutely no hazardous material, nothing other than iron ore. The reason why this train had caught on fire in the first place, though, was because one of the locomotives had a minor fuel leak, and it erupted. Out of the entire train, 2 of the locomotives were only involved in the derailment, and 55 out of the 154 cars on the train had derailed. So, who is to blame for this derailment? Or, what is to blame for this derailment? Well, I am completely unsure on how this train became a runaway in the first place. But, one thing that could have possibly played a role, PSR, or Precision Scheduled Railroad. This is a method by the Class 1 railroads used to combine trains into one. They say it's more efficient, but really, PSR is bad. PSR is the reasoning of a lot of infamous train derailments that have happened, because the trains have gotten so long. This train that you're seeing on the screen that I caught right now was almost 17,000 feet, which is slightly off of 3 miles long. And PSR is also another reason for the East Palestine, Ohio derailment. Now, here is one other thing though that doesn't make sense. Even with this iron ore train that they ran, it still wasn't too long of a train. Earlier, as I had mentioned, there were 154 cars and 5 engines. That adds up to only over 8,000 feet. And that's not really a PSR-sized train. What I'd consider a PSR-sized train would be something over 10,000 feet, or something like 12,000 feet. So maybe it's possible that even PSR isn't to blame for this derailment. Just the fact that it was a runaway train, or that the crew but who really knows? They're still trying to investigate how this train even became a runaway in the first place. Again, it could have been PSR playing part of the role in this derailment, but the main thing that was playing this role of the train derailment was just the fact that it was a runaway. But honestly, this time, I don't think PSR had anything to do with this. And some updates on March 28th, 2023. The tracks were already reopened 26 hours after the derailment. UP is still under investigation as to how this happened, and still, no injuries have been reported, and I'm very happy to hear about that, at least. The exact top speed that this train most likely hit, from what I've been hearing around, is 153 miles per hour. And that's crazy to think about. And look at this picture too. The freight cars and the rolling stock there, the train is basically just evaporated. And that's pretty scary right there. Again though, I am very glad that nobody was in this derailment, and I hope that nothing like this will ever happen again. But, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, history repeats itself, so chances are something like this will happen again, just from human error. But anyways, that's it on this documentary of the train derailment. Thanks for watching.